Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Again, as many times before, the United States of America shows its face actually at the United Nations when the Security Council is about to vote on a resolution and Israel somehow is involved. There's many examples when the United States vetoed a lot of resolutions that would condemn this, condemn that, and all that. Now, US actually vetoes a Security Council action asking for humanitarian aid to be provided to Gaza and Israel. And you're going to see what kind of reasons the United States uses as justification. This is like, for instance, you see someone who is drowning, in water. It's a lake and someone is going to be dying. Before you swim, let's say you know how to swim and you want to help, before you start swimming towards that person, do you want to find out first who that person is? Do you want to find out if that person is your neighbor that you don't like? Or maybe he is a person that, belonging to a group that you don't like. Or maybe, he's a kind of guy that has the wrong political views that you don't like. Would you stay on the side and say, I would like to know who that person is first before I'm helping? Or let's say you see a guy beating another guy, all right? So you figured out that one of these guys is getting beaten up by the other one. You don't know who's the victim here. At the first approach, you think the one who's getting beaten up is the victim, but you don't know if that guy was the initiator and the aggressor, and now it's just this guy is stronger, so he picked the wrong guy. What would you do first? You would wait, figure out, hey, wait, before I intervene to stop the carnage or whatever is going on over there, I want to know who is who and what kind of political opinions you got, what party do you belong, what, your ethnicity is, is that what you do? No, the first thing you do, you just try to stop the fight and then figure things out, don't you? You can pick just to let them see what happens. You can do that too. But here in the United Nations, we're supposed to fight for the truth and love and unity and justice, international law, blah, 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 bloop, bloop, bloop. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think I have 5 articles that show you how the United States vetoes the resolution just because, and the reason is going to be like, for instance, we have a deal to make and I don't want to make a deal with you. So I'm like Poland with Germany before the Second World War. I'm not going to make a deal with you on Gdansk, on a Danzig corridor. There's no deal. Because, and I don't tell you there's no deal. Supposedly we meet many times, okay, Poland and Germany, they meet many times to negotiate, but Poland will never agree to anything. Why? Because Great Britain and France promised Poland, if Germany would attack you, we will attack Germany. So they have nothing to lose here. Fuck off. If you want to invade me, I got those guys, they're going to beat you up. So I don't have to negotiate with you. So that's called negotiating in bad faith. That means I'm not going to negotiate with you. I disagree with that because you wear the wrong shirt. And then after you change the shirt because, you wear the wrong cologne. And then after you change that because you have the wrong shoes. Your shoes don't match your belt and the shoes don't match your socks. All kind of things that are not related to the issue at hand. This is what the United States did on 2 occasions. One with a Russian resolution that they tried to put forward. It was a draft and it was defeated. And I'm going to show you the reason. The shoes don't match the belt. And then when the Brazilians came with their resolution, with their proposal, the Americans again said, veto it. Veto it because the guy, the hairdo was wrong. He didn't like it. Or, the cologne did not smell, well. Let me show you. So let's start with this article first. Reuters, this is from today, October 18th, 2023. I'm not going to take it chronologically, I'm going to go the other way around. US vetoes UN Security Council action on Israel, Gaza. All right, well, The vote on the Brazilian drafted text was twice delayed in the last couple of days as the United States tries to broker aid access to Gaza. 12 members voted in favor of the draft text on Wednesday, while Russia and Britain abstained. And the reason why, I'm going to show you in a second. Let's move to the next one. This comes from the Hill, right? U.S. vetoes UN resolution condemning Hamas attacks on Israel, violence against citizens. So vetoes, okay, well, the United States vetoed it, saying it did not include, this is why they veto it, did not include a language about Israel's right to defend itself. So if they put the right to defend itself, they would pass? No, they would find something else. I know, I don't like your belt has the wrong color, or something. All right, so this is today, and I'm going to go to the Russians resolution. So this is what he did. No, so they don't care about the guy who's going to be drowning over there. You know why? The United States gives Israel time to release its love in Gaza, and after they get sufficient love given to the Palestinians in Gaza, then the Americans will allow things to turn in. And in the meantime, they don't want United Nations there. They want them in. The United States wants to get in and be the supplier and the helper of the Palestinians. By how? By stopping the United Nations. Why? Because Biden said that he's going to give 100 million, not billion, 100 million to Gaza. Humanitarian aid, blah, 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 until I see it. So they want to be the ones who decide who's coming in and who doesn't come in Gaza. Like they own that, but anyway, that's a bully boy for you. Now the next one. Russia says masks are off after US vetoes United Nations Security Council resolution on Israel-Palestine ceasefire. Not even ceasefire, for the reasons I gave you. The United States showed its true intentions when it vetoed the United Nations Security Council resolution seeking a humanitarian pause in the Israel-Hamas war. Russian Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations Dmitry Polyansky said on Wednesday, and I'm quoting, "The masks are off no matter how hard the Americans tried to appear as peacemakers or peacekeepers, they ultimately failed. A huge foreign policy failure for Washington." Earlier in the day, the US vetoed a Brazilian drafted UN Security Council resolution that calls on Israel to rescind its evacuation order for Gazans. Russia and United Kingdom abstained. Russia sought to amend the draft resolution to include a condemnation of indiscriminate attacks against civilians in Gaza, in particular, heinous strike against Al-Ahli Hospital, and also to include a call for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. What's wrong with all that? You tell me. The UN Security Council rejected both proposed amendments. Why? What was wrong about that? Condemnation of indiscriminate attacks against civilians in Gaza. You would say because that condemns the Israelis, and Israelis do not attack civilians. In particular, the attack on that. No, it was not Israel, it was someone else. All right, call for immediate humanitarian ceasefire. Let's go to the next, right here. On Monday, the UN Security Council rejected a Russian drafted resolution calling for a humanitarian ceasefire in the Palestine-Israel conflict. Why? This is the one that was on 16th, the one that these guys were talking about at the bottom. Sputnik was talking about this one. So we're going to jump to this one. By what? By Fox News, Weasel News. Russia's draft resolution on Israel failed to mention Hamas, defeated at UN. So it failed to mention Hamas. Let them drain. Let them drown. Let them go and die. Is that what it is? Is it? Brazil has a similar draft resolution on the table that condemns the violence and acts of terrorism by Hamas. But what they did? The Americans vetoed that one. So again, once the shoes did not match, then the belt did not match, and then the cologne was not right, the time was not good, the stars were not aligned, something, you didn't have it hard on. They would find any reason just to postpone all this and destroy it. And these are the peacekeeping, the peace garbage. And it says here, the United Nations Security Council voted to reject the draft proposal by Russia calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire and condemning the violence and hostilities against civilians, as well as terrorism, because it never mentioned Hamas. Okay, so the shoes did not match. It was the first one when was defeated. They did not mention Hamas, the Russians. The second one, when the Brazilians mentioned Hamas, right? Right here. No, where is it? Where is that at? Well, right here. No, this is did not show the language about Israel defending itself. And the other one was, where the hell see that? Where it is said? Somewhere I read it. Anyway, not here. Whatever. You remember. I don't know where I saw that one when the Brazilians, but hey, found it for you. Here it is, the subtitle. Brasilia had a similar draft resolution on the table that condemned the violence on act on terrorist Hamas, but that one was defeated because they didn't put that these guys have a right to defend themselves. All right. So the first one, with the Russians said, did not mention Hamas. They mentioned Hamas. They said, well, you didn't mention Israel has the right to defend itself. Okay, they will bring that in, and then they're going to say something else, and then something else, something else, something else. And after a month, after the guys in Gaza are, then they say, yeah, we're going to bring humanitarian and aid Americans because we're good-hearted. Everybody else is bad. Russia's one-page draft proposal was introduced on Friday and, according to Reuters, called for hostages to be released. We agree with that, right? Access for humanitarian aid and the safe evacuation of civilians. We agree with that, don't you? It also condemned the violence against civilians and all acts of terrorism, though Hamas was not mentioned by name. Jesus Christ, superstar. So, that's what it was, my friends. So, because of that, those guys can destroy themselves. And I have one. What the hell am I doing? Right here. This is from Sputnik. China shocked at United Nations Security Council failure to adopt Brazilian draft resolution on Israel-Gaza conflict. China is shocked and disappointed that the UN Security Council failed to adopt the Brazilian draft resolution pertaining to the Israel-Gaza conflict. Ambassador to the United Nations Zhang Jung said on Wednesday that because the United States vetoed it. The fact, and I'm quoting, the fact that the draft resolution failed to be adopted and our reaction is that of shock and disappointment, Zhang said at the UN Security Council meeting. China is also very disappointed that Russia's amendments were rejected, the ambassador added. Got that? So, who's the bad guy over there? Russia. Well, I think it's pretty clear what's going on over here. All right? That's an area where the Americans don't want anybody to come in until Israel says, now you can come in. After we sanitize everything, we put everything over there, the table is set, the candles are lit, the champagne is bubbling, and I wear my red panties, right? Yes, and your bikinis. She, just to mention that, not he. I mean, he can wear it, but we're not gonna ping ping. Thank you very much for being with me again today, my friends. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.